Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news, folks. The Cleveland Browns are once again at the center of NFL buzz, but not necessarily for reasons that everyone expected. This offseason, the Browns have been making headlines nonstop, and it's not just because of their bold moves on the roster. No, it's about how they are navigating the quarterback position, which has been quite a roller coaster for Cleveland fans over the past few years. And let me tell you, the latest developments are going to have a huge ripple effect on how this team approaches the upcoming season, and potentially the future of the franchise. First, let's set the stage. Cleveland, as you all know, has been trying to find stability at quarterback since Deshaun Watson's arrival. The gamble on Watson was supposed to be the beacon that would elevate the Browns to new heights, perhaps even push them into Super Bowl contention. But as we all saw, that gamble didn't pan out as planned. Watson's struggles and the controversy surrounding him left the team in a tough spot. So, the Browns decided to shake things up, trying just about everything they could to find a reliable signal caller. They signed veteran Joe Flacco to a one-year deal, hoping that experience and familiarity with the offense could give them a boost. They also traded for Kenny Pickett, a former first-round pick, showing that Cleveland wasn't just going to settle but was actively looking for a long-term solution. And to top it off, they drafted Oregon's Dillon Gabriel and Colorado's Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL Draft, clearly signaling that they're investing in the future at quarterback. Now, after the first few weeks of training camp and 2 preseason games, the Browns have made a decision that might surprise some, but probably not most fans. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Cleveland has decided that Joe Flacco will be their Week 1 starter. That's right, Flacco, the veteran, who has been around for ages, is going to be leading the Browns into the season opener. And you know what? Given the circumstances, it makes a lot of sense. Flacco, at 39 years old, still has some magic left in him, especially in Kevin Stefanski's offensive system, which he thrived in when he signed mid-season last year. The coaching staff has seen enough from him in training camp and preseason to believe he's the guy to start the season, at least for now. What's interesting here is that Flacco remains the only healthy quarterback on the roster as we get closer to the season. Kenny Pickett is not part of the equation just yet, and Shedeur Sanders, despite his promising preseason debut, is still very much a rookie. The Browns are clearly prioritizing stability and experience to start the season, especially since they are in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. The AFC North is no joke. Teams like Cincinnati and Baltimore are loaded with talent, making it crucial for Cleveland to have a steady hand under center. Flacco, with his experience and familiarity with Stefanski's system, gives them that. But here's the thing. While Browns fans respect Flacco and his legendary run in 2012, when he led the Ravens to a Super Bowl victory, the reality is that at nearly 40, he's not exactly the long-term answer. The team's hopes for this season aren't necessarily built on Flacco's arm, but rather on the overall roster and how well the young quarterbacks develop. If Cleveland stumbles out of the gate or faces difficulties early on, don't be surprised if the coaching staff looks to one of the young guns, particularly Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, to step in and provide a spark. Now, let's talk about these rookies because their performances so far have been quite intriguing. Dillon Gabriel, who's been the subject of a lot of attention, got the start in the first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. And he didn't disappoint. Gabriel went 14 for 23, throwing for 138 yards with 2 touchdowns. That's a very encouraging start for a rookie trying to prove that he belongs at this level. His ability to move the ball and make plays in the pocket shows that he has potential, and Browns fans should be excited about what he might bring to the table in the future. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, who many considered a draft steal, got his shot in the second game against the Philadelphia Eagles. His performance was rough at first, with an interception and a few sacks, but he showed resilience. Sanders finished strong, going 13 for 18 for 143 yards, which indicates he has the ability to bounce back and grow from adversity. The fact that Cleveland is giving these young quarterbacks opportunities in the preseason suggests that they are serious about evaluating what they have. They want to know if either Gabriel or Sanders can develop into a franchise quarterback, because if they find a standout, it could drastically change the team's future plans, especially if they're picking high enough in next year's draft. This decision to start Flacco isn't necessarily a sign that Cleveland has given up on their rookie quarterbacks, but rather a strategic move to ensure stability while they continue to evaluate. The Browns are in a unique position. They've got a roster that's competitive, but they also recognize that their quarterback situation is still very much a work in progress. If the season starts poorly and the team isn't meeting expectations, that opens the door for a quick switch to Gabriel or Sanders to see if either can provide that much-needed spark. It's a smart approach, especially considering the division they're in, where every game counts and margins are razor-thin. Looking ahead, Cleveland's management is probably thinking about the bigger picture. The 2026 NFL Draft is not that far away, and if they're still uncertain about the quarterback position, they might be eyeing another top pick to land a franchise talent. That's why giving Flacco the reins early makes sense. They can buy some time to see what the rookies can do, while not risking the entire season on an unproven player. If Gabriel or Sanders can impress in limited action, they could force the coaching staff to reconsider their plans, and that's where the real excitement begins. Of course, the Browns aren't just about the quarterback position. Their roster is loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. They have a solid offensive line, a defense that can be formidable if they stay healthy, and a coaching staff led by Kevin Stefanski, who has a proven track record of developing quarterbacks and building competitive teams. But at the end of the day, the success or failure of this season hinges on that position under center. Cleveland needs consistency, leadership, and someone who can make plays when it counts, whether that's Flacco, Gabriel, or Sanders. So, as we approach the season, Browns fans should be prepared for a roller coaster. The decision to start Flacco might seem like a safe choice now, but don't forget that the NFL is a league of rapid adjustments. If things don't go as planned early on, the team could pivot quickly, giving the young quarterbacks a real shot to shine. It's an exciting time for Cleveland, because the future of the franchise at quarterback is still very much up for grabs. This season could be a proving ground for Gabriel or Sanders, or it could be a stepping stone for Flacco to mentor the next young star. And let's not forget, this is about more than just one season. The Browns are laying the groundwork for what could be a sustained period of success, and that begins with finding the right quarterback. The team's management seems to understand that, and their approach reflects a careful balancing act, giving Flacco the chance to start while still keeping the door open for their young talents to step up when the time is right. Browns fans, it's a fascinating story unfolding right before our eyes, and I promise you there's plenty more to come this season. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So, what does all of this mean for Cleveland's outlook? Well, it's a reminder that this team is in a transitional phase, but they're also incredibly strategic about how they're approaching it. The decision to roll with Flacco to start the season isn't just about winning right now, it's about setting the foundation for future success. Cleveland knows that to contend in the AFC North, they need stability at quarterback, but they also need to develop that next star. That's why they're giving Gabriel and Sanders these preseason opportunities. Because, at the end of the day, the future of this franchise might very well depend on how well these young quarterbacks perform when the lights are brightest. And let's be honest, Browns fans are some of the most passionate in the league. You've waited years for a true contender, and although this season might be a bit uncertain, the potential is there. Cleveland's roster is talented enough to compete, and with the right quarterback leading the way, they could surprise a lot of people. The division is tough, no doubt, but that only fuels the fire. Every game, every drive, every decision counts. And as we watch this story unfold, I think we're all eager to see if one of these young quarterbacks can step up and take the reins. In conclusion, the Browns' offseason has been a masterclass in patience, evaluation, and strategic planning. The choice to start Flacco is a pragmatic one, based on experience and current health, but it's also a temporary solution. The real story here is about the bright future that could be shaped by Gabriel or Sanders if they continue to develop and impress. Cleveland is at a crossroads, and this season will be crucial in determining whether they're on the brink of something special or if they'll need to make further adjustments. The NFL is a league of surprises, and the Browns are certainly no exception. So Browns fans, stay tuned, keep the faith, and get ready for what promises to be an exciting ride. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.